Mr. President, thank you very much for organizing such a representative event. It is always very pleasant to be here. To be honest, I have been thinking about it for a very long time. I have one question, and I wanted to formulate it as clearly as possible for everybody to understand. I really wanted to ask you when you spoke about the national development concept, the national idea of Azerbaijan. What have you come to today? What is the situation like today? I will therefore formulate it like this. What is your dream, Azerbaijan, and your dream, South Caucasus, today?
Thank you. I am pleased to see you. I remember you participating in last year's forum too. Thank you for coming. You know, I spoke about this during my swearing-in speech in February. All of us together, the entire society, and all people striving to contribute to the future development. We need to define a new national concept. We all had the same concept, regardless of our political preferences. And that was the restoration of territorial integrity and the return of our territories. We achieved that in full last September. I also said that we should not be complacent and should not exploit this topic, because this is the easiest way. And this topic, in principle, could be exploited for a very long time if we wanted to, but it will lead us nowhere. Of course, we will never forget the occupation, the victims, our great victory. And for our entire lives, we and our descendants will be proud of this victory. But we cannot be fixated on this. We cannot exploit this theme and turn it into a symbol all the time. No, we must move forward. And this is why, as president, I addressed our society saying that we should think together. I can't come up with this on my own. And even if something comes to my mind, it will be generated by public debate, public mood, or events that are taking place in Azerbaijan and in the world. This is the first thing. I will also tell you that I outlined this in February, but there is still a process of reflection underway. But I am also convinced that whatever the new national idea or ideas may be, they cannot exist in isolation from the geopolitical context. And the geopolitical context in the world and in our region has changed dramatically, perhaps even more than anyone can imagine. And in this case, Azerbaijan's victory in Karabakh is not the only geopolitical change. I have already mentioned at the very beginning that old alliances are undergoing erosion and new formats of cooperation are emerging. I could go further into this topic, but I think it is clear what we are talking about. If we are talking about the countries of the South Caucasus, each of these countries has undergone serious political and foreign policy transformations. I would even say close to cardinal ones. Therefore, this is a new situation in the South Caucasus, and we need to comprehend it properly. And based on this comprehension, and proceeding from the vector of foreign policy, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan will follow. It will be possible to formulate an answer to the question you have asked. What kind of South Caucasus do we want to see? Of course, everyone will say that we want to see a peaceful South Caucasus, without wars, without conflicts, without territorial claims, where everybody loves and cooperates with each other. But these are all nice words, maybe for a toast, but not for real politics. At this stage, when a new foreign policy agenda is shaping up in Georgia and Armenia, we should clearly understand it, analyze it, and then, since it has not changed in Azerbaijan, and I am sure it will not, we should take steps to follow the path of not even integration, but at least some kind of interaction. I have said many times that I deeply regret that countries of the South Caucasus, which were involved in wars, were not able to follow the path of the Baltic states, which were not openly at war with each other. Had this been the case, I am sure that both economic development and political interaction in the South Caucasus could have been an example of cooperation today, because the peoples inhabiting our countries have lived side by side for centuries. But it did not happen. There is no point in talking about it now. But there is an opportunity now. But in order to take it, again, we need to analyze everything correctly here in Azerbaijan and see all the way to the end how these foreign policy modifications in Georgia and Armenia will conclude. And then we need to take more effective steps. In any case, we believe that long-term peace is possible and, of course, preferable.
Возможен и, естественно, он предпочтительный.